friends, and family members. My name is George Miller, and I have the pleasure and privilege of serving as president of American Intercontinental University. I joined AIU in January of 2004 after serving for 13 years in previous college presidencies, and I have over 30 years of experience in higher education as an administrator and teacher. From this perspective, I can tell you that AIU aims to be among the most dynamic and progressive institutions in the world, and we're very honored to have partnered with you in your educational endeavors. As some of you may already know, American Intercontinental University was founded in Europe in 1970 on the premise that universities should transcend the bounds of the traditional theoretical approach to education. For many years, AIU has offered this innovative approach to education at its brick-and-mortar campuses and through AIU Online. At American Intercontinental University, we have a special commitment to support each student's goals. To this end, we place emphasis on the educational, professional, and personal growth of every student. We continuously evaluate and enhance programs, policies, and activities to meet the needs of the student body and the institution as a whole. And AIU education emphasizes the principles of quality and integrity that are vitally important in today's world. And my hope is that each of you are able to carry these principles with you throughout your lives. Your journey will be trying at times, and the success you've long dreamed of will not happen overnight. Nothing of any significance ever does. But through your unwavering determination and ambition, you will begin to make differences in your lives and the lives of those you touch and influence. As you begin your endeavors from this fate, I cannot stress enough the importance of lifelong education, learning throughout your career, and additional educational experiences. In the words of Alvin Toffler, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Now, you won't always succeed at every attempt, but know that you have within yourself the power to try. Know that generations who have come before you face the same obstacles and uncertainties in their own time. I know I have. But it's your turn to enjoy the fruits of your labor. It is your time to stake your claim in the world. Begin and continue your careers and accomplishments to evolve yourself into a role model for others. Commencement, after all, means beginning, and your journey starts now. Congratulations on your accomplishments, and best wishes for continued success in the future.
Graduates, parents, family, faculty, staff, guests, thank you so much for having me here on this big, big occasion for you. It's a big day for you, and it's a big day for me. And I spend my morning, however, even though it's an especially big day, doing what I always do every morning. Getting on my knees with gratitude for waking up in America again, the greatest gift of mankind to mankind, the Garden of Eden in 2012 and throughout America's history. Now, how do I know this is the greatest nation on earth? Very simple way. Because of how many want to get in and how many want to get out. Not too many want to get out, and an awful lot want to come in. I am an economist. You know me as an actor and a comedian and a TV personality, but I am an economist. I'm going to tell you a few jokes about the economy and economists generally. You're all clean. You don't have to cover your ears. Ready? Okay. There are a group of people playing golf, a economist, a priest, and a rabbi. And they noticed that the group ahead of them was playing very slowly. So they send their caddy up ahead to find out why the person ahead of them is playing so slowly. And the caddy comes running back and he says, well, they're playing very slowly because they're blind. And the rabbi says, thank you, God, thank you, that although these men are blind, you have given them the incredible gift of playing golf. And the priest says, thank you, God, that although these men are blind, you have given them the incredible gift of being able to be outside, to hear the birdies singing, to feel the breeze wafting across their faces, and to smell the new-cut grass. So thank you, God, very much. And the economist says, well, if they're blind, why the heck don't they play at night and get out of our way? And that's one. It's an economist joke. It's not sort of dirty joke. It'll be funny. Anyway, then there's another one. There's a bear joke about an economist. An economist and an evolutionary biologist are camping, say up in Wisconsin. And they're enjoying their evening, and they're having their fish over a fire. and suddenly they see a huge, scary-looking bear, and they take off running. And the evolutionary biologist says to the economist, there's no way we're going to be able, possibly, conceivably, to outrun this bear. We're done for, because bears have evolved over hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of years to be very, very fast runners. There's no way we can outrun this bear. And the economist says, I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you. The economists think in these relative terms. And then another one, which those of you who are economics students are going to have to explain to the ones who aren't. There are several people stuck on a desert island. A physicist, a chemist, and an economist. And they're stuck there. They're slowly dying of thirst and starvation. And a huge storm comes up way, way out in the distance, and they see a ship has been sunk by this storm, and a few days later, washed up on shore is a huge chest. And they open the chest, and inside the chest is just a multitude of cans of peaches, apples, oranges, water, orange juice, everything you could possibly want, all in cans and still good, but they don't have a can opener. So the physicist says, well, that's no problem at all. We will make a fire with all this driftwood we have here. We'll put the cans on top, and when the temperature and the pressure get to be such that they pop open the cans will pop open, and we'll eat the contents. And the chemist says, no, that's way too messy. What we'll do is we'll take this seawater, which is highly alkaline, and we'll take this seawater and we will put it on top. We'll use our nerdy glasses to focus the sun's rays on the chemical mixture on top of the can, and it will eat away at the lid of the can, and then the can will pop open. And the other fellows say, no, that's way too messy. And the economist says, indeed, it is way too messy. I have a much better, neater idea. Assume we have a can opener. Okay, now, I told you, you guys who know economics, you're going to have to explain that to ones who don't. Anyway, we're going to talk about success today. Today is a day of great success for all of you. Those who are graduating, those in the family, those in the guest roster. And I've noticed in my many years on this earth that there are a heck of a lot of books and speeches on how to succeed, and still an enormous number of people do not succeed. So I'm going to try a new approach. I'm going to tell you how to ruin your lives and maybe how to fail, and then possibly you'll see some things that you're doing here and you'll want to stop, think about it, and do some things a little differently. So herewith a few suggestions on how to ruin your life. 1, do not learn any useful skills. That is, do not learn anything anyone will pay you for. Don't learn computer engineering or math or chemistry or economics or accounting or human resources. Don't learn anything that anyone will pay you for. I repeat that. Learn only about subjects that are really, really easy and fast that no one will ever pay you for. 2, do not ever learn how to get along with other people. Assume that other people were just placed on earth for your convenience. You can walk all over them, neglect them, treat them rudely, and it just won't matter. Everyone will always like you anyway and think you're a great guy or gal and want to have you around. 3, hang around with losers. Hang around with men and women who use drugs, who waste time on computer games, who've never had a job. Hang around with people who have trouble with the law, especially. That's a surefire way to ruin your life. Hang around with people who have no respect for their families or for authority or custom. That will get them in trouble, but it'll never get you in trouble. 4, spend as much as you feel like spending. Don't bother to equalize or harmonize your expenditures with your income. Just buy whatever catches your eye and put it on your credit card. Don't worry about those 30% per year credit card expenses. They're chump change for a guy like you or a superstar like you. Doesn't have to worry about 30% per year credit card charges. If you want to go on vacation and you don't have the money to pay for it, put it on the plastic. If you see a coat or a jacket or shoes you really dig, put that on the plastic too. There's no reason why a standout like you should not have anything you want. After all, don't rap stars and Hollywood moguls and Wall Street moguls have everything they want? Then why shouldn't you? You should have everything you want. Only losers and fraidy cats spend within their means. You are bigger than that. 5, work, work, work. What the heck is that all about? Who wants to have to get up early in the morning, clean up, shave, get dressed, catch a subway or bus to work, and then spend all day working? Who needs to be put in that kind of straitjacket? You are a wild, creative, crazy guy or gal. You're bigger than 9 to 5. You have dreams to follow and pursue. You have EverQuest to play. You are a man or woman who has friends to hang out with until they get jobs. You have to rest up so that when your big break comes along, you'll be ready. Work wears you out. It subjects you to a discipline you, as a big child, may not like. It makes you dependent on following the orders of your bosses. Who wants all of that? You want to be as independent as a Raja, so don't work. Why do it? Why do it at all? And don't let the people around you tell you that you need to work to develop self-esteem. You don't. You're so good at EverQuest and any other computer game, the computer screen alone provides all the happiness you'll ever need. What's that you say? Some mean-spirited person has told you that you need to work to earn money? Yes, that's true for some people, but not for you. Your friends will always be here to lend you all the money you need. So will your family. Those people have worked hard all their lives to earn money just so they could lend it to you. They don't want to take trips or buy a home or buy clothes. They don't want to save the money. They want to give you the money. That's crucial. And they do not want you to pay it back. That's the key thing. And you don't want to pay it back either. After all, how are you any better off if you pay them back? Just think about it. If you borrow $10,000 from me and then pay me back, how are you any better off? But if you borrow $10,000 and you don't pay back a dime, you are 10 grand to the good. That's exactly how some of the richest people in the world got that way, and you can do it too. And don't worry about the law. The law is for little people, not for big, unique, special people like you. They'll never come after you, and if they do, just give them your best smile. They'll tell you not to do it again. Go home, and you'll be done with them. Next, criticize early and often. People like to be criticized. They like to be corrected on how they look, what they say, how they eat. So do it as often as you can. Other people will love you for it, especially people really like when you tell them that there's something bad about what they're eating. 7, do not save for the future. The future will take care of itself. That's how it always works out in the movies, right? The sniveling people who save get left out. The cool people who really live it up, live life to the fullest, get ahead. The movies, by the way, are an excellent guide for life. So live as if you're a character in a movie and have no thought for tomorrow. It will take care of itself. 8, gamble with money. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have been to Las Vegas and Atlantic City, and you've seen those big casinos, and you've probably heard that those casinos were built because people lose, not because they win. True enough, but that does not apply to you. That applies to losers, and you are not a loser. So step up to the table and put down every cent you can beg, borrow, or steal. Luck is in your corner. You'll be extremely glad you bet on number 25 or number 17 or number 12. Any number you want to bet on, it's sure to win. 9, don't pay any attention to how you look or smell. Yes, true enough, you care about other people around you, look and smell. You want them to look their best. You want them to smell great. But you're better than that. You're a lot better. You have an ineffable light shining within you. You're gonna grow. You're gonna glow and light up the whole world, whether you've shaved or combed your hair, or brushed your teeth. You're just a lot bigger than ordinary rules about appearances and smells. So you just take care of whatever you feel like taking care of. Don't take care of anything else. 10. Now this is the very, very best piece of advice I can give you about ruining your life. And I think the women in the audience may get this ahead of the men. Have a romantic relationship with someone who has a lot of bad habits and character issues. Have a relationship with him and then believe you can change him. Now, you may have heard that you cannot change people after about age 2. You may have heard that if your boyfriend is a gambler, a drug user, a playboy, you won't be able to change him and he'll stay that way and cause you trouble forever. But that won't happen to you. You'll be able to change him and you'll be able to make him into a model citizen. No one else can do those things, but you can. So, if you truly want to ruin your life, go for it. Actually marry someone with terrible habits and character and see if he'll change. You're not going to be surprised. 11. Use drugs and alcohol freely. Life is hard. You need a break. Often life is bearing down on you and you feel terrible. That's where you need a few drinks or maybe a few puffs of the chronic. That'll change your mood and make you feel a lot better. Much, much better. Now, you may have heard that drugs start as a servant and end as a master. You probably heard that about the sauce, too. You probably heard that if you depend upon drugs to give you the charge you need to go through your day, pretty soon you won't be going through your day at all. In fact, you won't be alive at all. Don't you believe it? You can get as high as you want, as often as you want, and it won't change a thing. Not one darn thing. Let me tell you right away, that is true for everyone else. All those bad things you've heard about drugs and alcohol, but not for you. You're going to be smarter, braver, tougher, more adept at everything with the booze and the ganja in you. You're going to never take over your life. Your life will be just swell anyway. So get high all you want and see how much fun your life turns out to be. 12. If you absolutely must go to work, do the absolute minimum you can to get by. Don't do anything you don't want to do. Show up anytime you feel like it. The people above you won't mind. They recognize that you are a unique genius and will not care at all about what your work habits are. They'll just feel lucky to have you nearby. That's how good they'll feel about you. And if you get fired, don't worry about that thing called the recession. There are always a billion other jobs out there. People will be begging for you to come work for them. No recession for you. Yes, recession for other people, not for you. You say you read about unemployment? Yes, but again, that has zero to do with you. You're never going to face unemployment. After all, let's think about this precisely. You are you. How many of you are there out there? Just one. Everyone wants you. So just be a total slob at work, with no respect for anyone, and you'll find your career takes off like a rocket. 13. Spend a lot of time studying the lives of movie stars and famous celebrities. That'll really help your life a lot. To know about Tom and Katie and Suri and everything, that's really, really important. If you don't know about that, if you don't know about Katie Holmes in every detail, what kind of person are you? So read all the gossip magazines, watch all the TV shows about celebrities, and soon, very soon, you will know so much about them you'll be a celebrity yourself, and then the sky's the limit. Gossip a lot about the people you know and the people you work with if you are foolish enough to work. You're never going to get any trouble coming back to you about it. You know, you've heard this saying about what goes around comes around. It doesn't apply to you. You'll never get in any trouble gossiping about other people. 14. Start arguments about everything. People like it when you argue with them. So do it over and over again and have contention and anger be a constant part of your life and the life of the people around you. Your life will go better with anger and argument, so just keep being angry and arguing all the time. 15, don't keep up with current events except for gossip about celebrities. Just ignore all the news. It has nothing to do with a Zen master such as you. Recession, war in the Middle East, what do they have to do with anything in your life? Just stay with your EverQuest and your beer and your movie star gossip and you'll be just fine. And if people expect more from you than that, too bad for them. They can't judge you, only you can judge you. 16, ignore your family. Who are they? What are you talking about? Your family, who are they? They just nagged you and pestered you when you were a child and yelled at you to clean up your room. They're nobodies. Why, anyone in line ahead of you at the Walmart will care as much about you as your family does. So just ignore them and it won't hurt you one little bit. You're never going to need them. And if they need you, too bad for them. Your family are just a ball and chain around your neck. Ignore them and they'll eventually go away. 17. Remember, you don't owe anyone anything. You made your own great life. You don't owe the military who fought our wars a darn thing. You don't owe the police and the firefighters anything. You don't owe doctors and nurses anything. I already told you you don't owe your family anything. You owe no respect to anyone. Those soldiers and Marines who died in our wars, those flyers, the merchant marine, the sailors, you owe them nothing. And by the way, this is number 18. You are the center of the universe, the absolute center of everything that happens in the whole cosmos, not just on this planet, in the whole cosmos. Don't ever forget it either. You're the boss of bosses and the king of kings. No one else counts for anything. Keep that uppermost in your mind at all times. 19. Do not appreciate the beauty of life. Is it a beautiful day outside with the sun shining and the birds chirping? So what? Is there a magnificent sunset? So what? Is there a glorious dawn? So what? Has someone on the news just done something amazingly brave? Again, so what? Who cares? You just pay attention to that EverQuest screen or that computer screen for whatever game you're playing and ignore everything else. 20. Have no gratitude at all for being in America and for being an American. Now, there are a lot of other ways to ruin your life, but these rules will do it. They're plenty. If you follow these rules to the letter, you can be sure of ruining your life. But do you really want to ruin your life? I doubt it. It's not a lot of fun to lead a ruined life with no friends, no job, no money. It's not great to not have a life. You men and women already know that or you wouldn't be here at graduation. You're here today, graduating today, because you want to make something of your life. So to change from my joker's hat to my serious hat, here are a few ways to make your life succeed. These are based on a lot of observation at many levels of society, from summer jobs in the 1950s picking weeds on very hot, humid days in Washington, D.C., to work at the White House in the 70s, Hollywood and Wall Street, and many places in between. Did I mention dry eyes, itchy, watery eyes? Try these basic steps to a better life. 1. Make gratitude your watchword day and night. Never omit a chance to show gratitude to your family, your country, your friends, your God, or just faith if you don't believe in God. Gratitude will take you very far. An attitude of gratitude each day will make your life a much happier life. It'll make each day a much happier day. Gratitude is not only for the entity you are grateful to, it is for you. It makes you feel good. It is free and it works. It almost never can be beat for improving your mood. 2, learn useful skills as early as possible. You can and you must learn something useful to do to support yourself as early as you possibly can. It's great to be a critic. It's great to be an expert at art. It's far better to be able to support yourself with a wrench and a hammer. It's great to stay at home on your mother's couch watching a rerun of Cops. Obviously one of my favorite shows. It's much better to be a cop yourself. It's a lot of fun to sneer at people starting up the corporate ladder. It's a lot better to be on that ladder with a decent shot of being self-supporting. Contribution. Work is incredibly, unbelievably important. To be self-supporting through your own contribution, that is one of the great goals of us human beings. As I say, the truth that you're here today tells me you already learned that. Learn it again. 3, be open to the legacy of man's achievements and also the beauty of nature. This is a spectacularly beautiful world. Of course there are ugly parts, but if you approach each minute of each waking hour with the thought that beauty is all around you, you'll find it. You can find it in parks and beaches and mountains and forests. You can find it in a human face passing you by on the street, or in the face of a small child, or in the face of an animal, pet, cat, dog. I find a lot of beauty there. God has given us an incredibly spectacular planet, and it's worth taking time whenever possible to see it. This is not wasted time. A trip to a beautiful mountain lake to see a magnificent lake. My wife and I happen to live on a lake in North Idaho called Lake Monterey. It's 45 miles long, ringed by immense mountains. That's a trip worth having. A trip to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is not very far from here, or to Wisconsin, or even to the forests of Illinois, to see the forest, that's fantastically well worth the time. There's something about the magnificence of nature that puts our own fears and problems in perspective, and that is a gift. 4, know in your heart of hearts that this is a really good one. Please, if you take nothing else away from this speech, remember this. Know in your heart of hearts that feelings come and feelings go, and feelings are not facts. Your mood, whatever it is, good or bad, will change many times in a day or even an hour. If you're feeling low down, and all of us are, for a good part of most days, know that that feeling will change and you'll feel better, at least differently, in a little while. 5, this seems incredibly basic, but a lot of people don't know it. Save money. Life is filled with curveballs and nasty surprises. You may think you're all set with a great job and great prospects, and you don't have a financial care in the world. Then before you know it, before you can snap your fingers, there's a recession or worse and you lose your job. You must have savings. This is not an option. This is a necessity. This is an absolutely necessary necessity. Sure, a necessary necessity. Do not omit it. As soon as you get a job, start saving and keep saving. 5, know in your heart that friends and family are indispensable. Do not mistreat your parents or your friends. I guarantee you that the day will come when you're going to need your friends and your family. You don't want to be lonely. You don't want to feel abandoned ever. Plus, in the case of your family, you owe it to your parents to treat them with love and respect, love them and cling to them. 6, know that ignorance is as bad as a disease. When you go out into the world, you're going to be judged largely by how much you know. Plus, how much you and your fellow citizens know is key to how the nation survives and prospers. If you know a lot, you're going to do better in life. If the citizens as a whole know a lot, the nation as a whole will survive and prosper. Unfortunately, this is an area where the nation is in trouble. Our educational system is largely a mess. Not here, obviously, where we are today, but in too much of the nation. I see this when I read about test scores on the SATs relentlessly falling, or when I read about test scores on the ACTs, which tell us that only about 25% of the nation's high school seniors are capable of doing even C-level work in college. There's a lot of scary news out there about education. But look at this from a different angle. When I was your age, or let's say roughly your age, we had incredible problems too. We had to confront our own racism as a nation. A racism so profound that it killed innocent children without remorse and took the lives of some of the greatest men of our history. We had the hatred of the mighty Soviet Union with its immense nuclear arsenal. It looked to most of us as if the world would end in one day in a massive nuclear war. We had Red China glaring at us with hatred. We had a terrible war in Vietnam. We had periods of high unemployment. Discrimination against women was standard. It was just a part of life. But with the leadership of great men and women in this wonderful country, like Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. and Medgar Evers and Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan and Lyndon Johnson, the nation rose up and did the right thing. Official racism is now just a bad memory. We have racial and sexual equality and opportunity beyond what we could have dreamed of 50 years ago. We still have a long way to go. We've come a huge long way. We have women and minorities at the top of the heap everywhere. There is no more Soviet Union. That would have seemed impossible in my childhood. Red China is now our second biggest trading partner. We don't fight with them, we do business with them. A lot of business with them. Yes, we have immense problems and difficulties and challenges. I mentioned some of them a moment ago. The economy, environment, global warming. But this is America. We argue for a long time. We size up our problems, and despite the politics, we go out and solve them in the spirit of idealism and dignity for all. And we're going to do it this time too. We've gotten through far worse than what we're going through now, and we'll do it today and tomorrow. And if you ask what the spirit will be that gets this done, I can summarize it in the words of a great man, John F. Kennedy. I had the high honor of seeing him inaugurated more than 50 years ago in Washington, D.C. What he said at the end of his speech lifted me up then and lifts me up every day. He said, we have terrible problems and challenges. We face a world of dangerous enemies. But we're going to get through. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done because we ask God to help us with our problems. And we ask God to bless this great nation. And we ask God to go to work for this great nation. But we realize, as we must, that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. Congratulations, graduates, and God bless you all.
Now introducing the graduates of the Master of Business Administration.
On behalf of the President and the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Business Administration and the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities to that degree and pertaining. Congratulations. Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Washington, Provost and Vice President for Campus Operations for American Intercontinental University. On behalf of the faculty and staff, it is my honor to welcome you to our commencement exercise. This is a virtual ceremony to accommodate those among you who are not able to participate in one of the graduation events we hold each year in Chicago and in the cities where we have branch campuses. We understand it just isn't possible for everyone, but if you can, I encourage you to join us for one of our live commencement exercises. The Chicago commencement exercise is held at Navy Pier, which was built nearly 100 years ago as the first municipal pier to combine the interests of the shipping business with public entertainment. It now attracts more than 8 million visitors each year, making it the #1 tourist and leisure destination in the Midwest. During World War I, the site was used to house several Army regiments, the Red Cross, Homeland Defense units, and also served as a military reception station. As a retired soldier, I find it fitting that AIU Online hosts its graduation ceremonies in a space with such a strong tradition of national service. We at AIU are proud to be listed among the most military-friendly colleges and universities in the nation. Like me, many of you are service veterans or are military family members. On behalf of the entire university community, I thank you for your service to our great nation. This is a milestone achievement. For many of you, it has not been easy. By and large, you're working adults who have significant responsibility and obligations beyond school. You've had to find time to do your schoolwork while simultaneously holding down a job and taking care of your families. You had to read course material in the break room at work. You had to compete for time on the family computer to do your assignments. You had to write your papers late in the evening after your kids went to sleep. And you had to give up time on the weekends to meet with classmates to complete group projects. It wasn't easy, but you did it. All of you have that in common. Another thing most of you have in common is that you didn't get to this place alone. While you were struggling to keep up with your coursework, there were others who supported you. Your spouses, children, other family members, and friends helped you cope. They gave you encouragement. They reminded you of the reasons you need this education. Don't forget your support network. Don't forget to thank them for the sacrifices they made to help you arrive at this point. Most of you chose to attend AIU not just because you wanted higher education, but because you wanted to prepare yourself to compete for a better job in a specific field. We, the university's faculty and staff, have committed to preparing you academically, personally, and professionally for career success. To that end, I offer you this observation. A debate rages on in the United States. Is it really necessary to have a college education? There are some who point to the fact that other countries seem to be outpacing us in college graduates per capita. There are others who argue that what our country really needs are more tradespeople and fewer college graduates. I can't answer the basic questions, but I will say that many of us can't wait until the country finds consensus. We have to position ourselves to take care of our families and prepare for our future. We have to recognize that in the world we live in today, people who have higher education are less likely to be unemployed and have greater potential over the course of their lives. Right or wrong, necessary or not, education seems to be a competitive advantage for those who have it. You started on the right path. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep applying new knowledge, and whatever you do, don't let this be the last stop on your educational journey. Congratulations, and good luck to each of you.
Honored guests, faculty, staff, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that we need in this life is inspiration. Special events like this graduation inspire us. Works of art, music, or great achievements also inspire us. However, often it is a role model to whom we look for inspiration. They are people who have, through talent and hard work, achieved important goals in their lives. They have done what they set out to do and have, in the process, given more of themselves than they have taken from society. As you graduate today, I would like you to look to the future with the realization that you are all going to be the inspiration and the role models of tomorrow. You can probably call to mind those you have admired and thought highly of through your life thus far. Parents, family members, older siblings, athletes, coaches, clergy, faculty, and staff. They are the men and women who have within them a strength of purpose. They have nobility earned through endeavor and determination. They are those who we have read about and studied and who have helped us to realize what can be possible. They have also taught us that nothing is impossible if you believe in yourself. You have studied hard, made sacrifices, and been determined about your goals. Today, you have graduated. During your studies, your family and friends have supported and encouraged you. The faculty and staff at AIU have guided, facilitated, and assisted you. While you were here, you met many new people, some of whom will become your best friends for the rest of your life. I hope that you will exchange email addresses, phone numbers, and add your AIU friends to your social networking websites so that you can share in all of life's celebrations and challenges. Let us recall the AIU mission statement. American Intercontinental University's mission is to provide for the varying educational needs of a culturally diverse and geographically dispersed student body, with the goal of preparing students academically, personally, and professionally for successful careers. It is now your turn to take your place in the global society, and through your career pursuits and your success, begin to build yourself into a role model for others. Today, you are empowered to go out and achieve. Find something that you are really passionate about. This gives you a strong sense of purpose and will be a big part of your future happiness. To do that, you need to be honest with yourself, observant, and make the most out of every opportunity that you encounter. You will be the global business managers and entrepreneurs of tomorrow, the healthcare and human resources specialists, the marketing managers and e-commerce specialists, the web designers and IT directors, the leaders in education at all levels, and the law enforcement and criminal justice professionals that the public relies on every day. Respect yourself and other people. Everyone is unique, and everyone has his or her own ideas and abilities. Celebrate the diversity that is AIU. The fact that people are different and possess different talents means that when you collaborate and work as a team, together you can achieve more than any one of you could alone. In closing, I will offer this quote from President Barack Obama. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek.